Holacracy is a way of running a company without any managers and giving everyone the power to help change, to help evolve the way of working, the structure of the organization, using some very specific rules. I think Holacracy works well for organizations where the existing power holders, those could be managers, owners, shareholders, whatever, they believe that the people that work for this organization actually have the capacity to fulfill its purpose. They know what it takes to get the job done, and they're able to do it. They're actually smart enough to do it. If you believe that that's true, then giving them the power to self-manage and to lead their own roles will work really well with some adjustment. But if you don't believe that, then don't even start.
So at a normal meeting before at my old company, there also were people who didn't say anything because they were shy or because they didn't have a good relationship with the boss. And they would zone out at the beginning of the meeting. They wouldn't say a word for 2 hours or just one word. And then at the end they would say something again and it would be it. And that happened week over week over week. And that's something we don't have here, and that's what I'm very happy about. So everybody's really engaged.
I will say meetings are a lot more structured. You can't just say something. You always have to wait your turn. You need to write things down to say it at the end of the meeting. And it felt like I was hitting walls constantly when we first started within these meetings. It would always be, I would have a tension with something, and of course in a normal meeting you would just say it right away. You might raise your hand, but you get things out and people discuss. Not in Holacracy. It was always the facilitator saying, no, write it down, we have time for this, state your tension, and then we would go on. So that took a couple of weeks to get used to. But after that, once you learn the rules, everything goes very smoothly, and I feel like the meetings are so much more controlled and productive. And I personally think it helps interpersonal relationships in the company, because there's less time for chatter and for just allowing tensions to go out of control. It's what is your tension and what do we need to do to solve it?
Holacracy distinguishes between two types of meetings. The first is the tactical meeting, the second is the governance meeting. And every circle has both of those meetings. The tactical meeting is about an hour, often less, every week, in which the circle comes together to look at some data, some KPIs, to surface any tensions, anything that's keeping them from moving forwards for the next week. And to very quickly resolve those tensions. Could be 10, even 20 in a meeting.
Every meeting starts with a check-in round. During this round, each person tells what's on their mind, what distracts them, how they go into the meeting to be present in the moment.
Yeah, I didn't sleep very well. My throat is a little sore, so a little bit distracted. And I'm expecting an important phone call. I don't know what time, so I might be pulled out of the meeting for a little bit, but that's it.
Okay, yeah, I'm stressed out. I'm now being called by the meeting person I'm meeting later, so I have to walk out and do that. So yeah, a bit stressed out actually, that's it.
Now okay?
Mark.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Mark.
Okay, doing good. Remote's been a bit messy so far, but let's see how it goes.
Okay, we have no Safari guests today. Post-its and pencils abundant, check or no check? Yeah.
Yes.
Abundant.
We have 1 million Safari guests today.
Actually.
Safari guests all over the world.
Okay, laptops closed, phones off, everybody. Check. Announcements address rules instead of people, so think of that. Do not look at the screen while talking, except when you're talking to Mark or listening to Mark. It's sad if we don't look at him. Is the energy high?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And read the metrics. And read the metrics clearly and deliberately. So slow down, take a minute, think about what you're reading, and don't just read.
During the metrics review, you check in our case, the KPIs. We are a very data-driven company. We've got a lot of KPIs, and each role in Springest has assigned one or more KPIs and reports on that. That's what we do during the metrics review. We've got an overview of our KPI sheet, and then the assigned role reads out the metric to the whole circle.
Okay, let's start with the metrics then.
All right.
Can you zoom in, Debbie?
Revenue was 80.
One more please, zoom in.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Traffic.
Yes, NL visitors, 1,000 last week, a bit of a drop, I think it's probably seasonal. Germany, 100, steady there. AdWords revenue, That's a drop again, again, it's a drop, and it's just, you can see in the ROI that's minus, so not a good week last week.
Marketplace.
€4 in cancelled bookings. Outbound support was 1,000. Inbound support 2. In-company tender revenue was 50.
Dev and user response time 5, normal. Site usable 9. We had an issue last week. Unique and HR Office going from demo to course boards for 2 hours. There were some issues with Elasticsearch indexing that affected site usability, although no major 500 errors, site being down. So that's okay.
During project update, the role of the facilitator is very important because you have to be brief and only update on the changes compared to last week. So no status reports or things that will be planned this week. It's only, are there any changes? What is your change compared to last week for each project? If it's a new project, we do outline and give a little bit more information.
Awesome. Then let's go to the projects updates. So only update on the change and keep it focused. Let's start with product.
Yes, so payments for bookings on e-learnings through Molly. The backend part is all done, so the calculation is completed. It's now being reviewed. I'm not sure how far that is. The admin part, we got a demo. Were some smaller issues to be fixed. That has been done also. Next action is a demo planned for this afternoon, and get all the translations in and then ship it.
Development.
Yeah, a couple of new projects on here. Upgraded to Rails 4. This is something we've been putting off for a very long time and is now officially blocking us as a dev team. We cannot upgrade to new versions of Ruby, which will significantly hinder what kind of features we can build and how stable our code base will be. So we're working on it actively this week, especially Mark and Tim.
There is no agenda before the meeting starts. So we build the agenda during the meeting, and it's based on tensions. So each circle member can call out a tension and it's put on the agenda by the secretary.
So attention in Holacracy is simply anything that could be better, anything that needs changing, anything where you're feeling frustrated because something isn't working the way it should be or the way it could be. It could also be some idea for how things could be better. So really it's a very broad term describing anything, any gap between where we are now and where we could be.
Okay. Awesome. Then let's build the agenda now. I think you have everything.
Long list.
Okay, let's start with the round. Annemiek, can you start?
Onboarded projects.
Homepage.
3.5K outbound.
LA lower.
None for me.
Org metrics.
After building the agenda, it's time for handling the agenda items. The facilitator asks for every item, what do you need and what is your tension? And after making a clear next action for a specific role, also ask, is this what you need? Did this solve your tension?
Okay, site usability, Mark.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that we weren't completely down or anything. It was just the booking overview in the admin. So only for Springest admins and admins.
Okay.
Okay, that was it?
Tension down?
Yeah.
Cool.
Org projects, Annemiek, tension and what do you need?
I saw some projects that weren't actionable and didn't have a why now. So I wanted to ask Smooth Ops if there has been an Asana workshop already.
No.
For people? For the new people.
Oh, well, so.
Erik, yeah. Daan, no. This is this week.
Alright. Maybe next action for organizations to make projects actionable and add why now to projects and why now.
Do you accept?
Yeah.
Good for you? Good
Yeah.
for you?
For me personally, it was funny because I put on a couple of projects to the alignment list that weren't on there before, and I was very much expecting them to raise some tensions. We had one project where we're upgrading to a new software version, which is a pretty big project. It affects our entire code base and will take a lot of time. And I know it's necessary, but of course I knew that from the other circles, it may not have been as clear how that's aligning with our greater OKRs. So the entire meeting I was kind of preparing for that backlash, and then eventually it did happen. Someone brought it up, and I felt like I handled it pretty well since I was prepared. And I also really like that that can happen, because honestly, if there's another circle that I feel that is bringing projects to the table not aligned with the OKRs, I want to also be able to push back and say, hey, why are you doing this? So I appreciated that it happened.
For Eva, tension, what do you...
Yeah, big tension. That we have an OKR to ship 25 new features. I don't think we're going to make that. But then suddenly there's this big project to move to Rails 4, which is going to take a lot of our dev power, but isn't in line with any of the OKRs. And at the same time, the way it was described, it was expecting a lot of trouble instead of we already had trouble. So please take it off and focus on the projects. Or clear up the why now, because the why now was all about expectations rather than actual data.
So you want the next
So what
section
do you
for
want?
dev?
Or explain it better to me than I currently don't.
Explain now as
Yeah.
Can
rapidly
do
from
it
dev?
quickly, yeah.
Sure. So we have already had problems with this. Tim has discovered bugs in Ruby and made a pull request on our version of Ruby to fix them, and they will not be merged because they are not going to release a new version of that particular form of Ruby anytime soon. So it is actively hurting us. It takes time out of our day to fix these bugs. And if we have to continue doing that, our code base becomes less usable, less maintainable, and we can't get our 25 projects done. So if we don't do it now, it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Okay.
Is that good? Explanation? No, next
Do you still
section.
need action, Eva?
Boom.
Do you still need an action?
No.
This is gone. Any other tension? So let's take a second to think about it.
Yeah, I have a big tension with Marketplace still not having a project to upgrade the Learning Advisor revenue. I was wondering, is that conscious? We asked it 4 times, I think.
It's not conscious.
Okay. Is there a project?
There isn't, not existing, no.
Okay.
Not in Asana, at least.
Make an action and to create the project to upgrade LA revenue and put it on alignment.
Any other agenda items, anyone?
No.
Then let's move to governance.
In addition to the technical meeting, every circle also has a governance meeting. It might happen every month, so less often. And what this meeting does basically is it gives everyone in the circle the power to propose changes to roles, changes to policies, really to how the circle works together. So if I have a tension, I might bring a proposal to a governance meeting to introduce a new role that would solve my tension.
Okay, 3 agenda items. Anyone wants to add something to it before we start? Okay, let's start like this then. First agenda item, Marketplace recruiting. Ruben, can you tell us what the tension is?
During the governance meeting, a circle member can propose the changing of a role, the creation of a new role, or an amendment to a role or a domain or a policy.
Yeah, I'm connected to this as an LA mentor a lot because I'm mentoring the learning advisors. They're hiring a lot of them. They're talking to them. They're writing vacancies and doing all kinds of stuff like onboarding as well, and they have no accountability for it. So I thought let's add it. So that's my proposal, to add an accountability to Marketplace called recruiting prospective circle members, posting vacancies, interviewing, trialing, decision supporting, onboarding into the circle. And with decision supporting, I mean supporting the decision to hire or not, because they can't do it by themselves, but they have a say in the decision, of course. So that's my proposal.
After that, clarifying questions can be posed. These are only questions about a part of the proposal that someone does not understand. It's not about the content, it's about the way it's formulated and what it means.
Clarifying questions.
Yeah, can I quickly check out the SMOPS role to see? What is it? Aligning roles. Because what is meant by onboarding into the circle is in...
To make sure they learn how to do their roles. So not as a Springeteer, so not about GTD or other stuff, but really about how to do the roles that are in the circle or circles there.
Reactions are allowed during the reaction round. So one by one, each circle member gives his or her response to the proposal and can also give an opinion about it, or a better solution if they have that.
Let's do a reaction round in that case. Liz, can you start?
Sure, I think it's a good proposal. I don't think it steps on anyone else's toes, at least the way that I'm reading it, so I think it's fine.
I think this happens in every circle. So I like the proposal, but I would like to see it in more circles right away, so I don't have to propose it myself now, afterwards. That's it.
Yeah, I feel the same. I think onboarding into the circle being left out. I think that's more something that should be picked up in smooth ops. For the rest, I would make it. I would change the proposal to add accountabilities to all the circles to do this, because I think every circle needs accountability for this. This makes sense.
After that follows the objection round. The facilitator asks each circle member if he or she objects. People respond with objection or no objection.
Let's do the objection round then now. Liz, can you start again?
No objection.
No.
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 Sorry, Martin.
No objection.
No.
No.
Okay, then it's integrated.
Yeehaw.
Maybe you will integrate it.
The proposal is then, with that approved, it will be handed over to the secretary to work it out and appoint, for example, a new role to the lead link of a circle, or to change a role and amend the accountabilities or whatever the outcome of the meeting was. During the checkout, the facilitator asks each circle member what he or she thought of the meeting and with what kind of feeling this person leaves the meeting and wants to see improved next time.
So let's do checkout because it's time already. Annemiek, can you start?
Yeah, long meeting. Feel a little bit rushed now because I already saw our trialer coming in. We need to set up her for her trial day. So I think we had good output from the technical meeting and governance went smooth. So yeah, good meeting.
Alright, I didn't really like the meeting. I'm not sure if it's me, I'm a bit groggy, I guess. My voice is not good and I didn't sleep well, but I think there were like a lot of minor things that we usually do better, like everyone was really staring at the screen all the time. You really notice if you stand here, everyone is like this. Now Mark is there, now it's okay. But there was a lot of screen staring, there was a lot of, can you make a next action for me, which I always say, but if someone says, please make a next action for me, I immediately zone out, and if you pay attention, you can see everyone do it. Everyone is like, okay, let's wait a bit. And then sort of the energy of the meeting goes away. And there were also some like, do you accept this? Okay, and the weird tension there I found really strange. We usually don't have that, I think.
I think the meeting was okay, but I sort of feel useless here because I don't really have any tension as a dev big thing in a way, and then any dev stuff that needs to be done is for the rep link, so that's a bit, I don't know what I'm doing. So maybe next time I won't join, but the remote stuff was okay, not perfect. Didn't really have any time to set up the double screen, so I was a bit disconnected. But yeah, that's probably setup stuff. So it was okay.
Alrighty.
See you, Mark. Quitting you now. Bye.
What I love most about Holacracy is that it makes everyone an entrepreneur. It gives everyone the power to actually make a change in their own work environment and to actually you have real authority in how you fulfill the organization's purpose. That is something to me that is really exciting.